Okay, today we're going to make Concord grape jelly. Not jam, but jelly. Grape jelly is like one of my favorite things on the planet, and that's why we're making it. So I've gotten some awesome grapes here from a local vineyard. I'm not exactly sure which kind they are, but Oregon does have some of the best Pinot Noir in the country. And I'm gonna get these started in this pot. And I also wanted to show you that I had processed some grapes a couple of days ago, and I put this in the freezer. And you can see it's got sediment here. You don't want that, so I'll show you how to strain that out as well. Okay, so there is about 2 pounds of grapes in there, and the recipe calls for 3 pounds of grapes. There may have originally been 3 pounds of grapes, but they were so sweet that I ate a bunch of them. So there's 2 pounds in there, and I am going to add about a cup of water. And the recipe calls for a little dash of butter. Okay, and we're going to crush them with a potato masher, and we're going to bring them to a boil and simmer them on medium-low for about 10 minutes. And then I'll be back. Okay, it's looking good. I'm going to let it keep going a little bit longer and keep mashing. Might turn that heat up just a little bit. Wish you could smell it. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is pretty much done. So I wanted to show you what I'm going to use next. This is an apparatus for making jelly. It usually goes on the side of a pot like this, but it also works pretty handy with a bowl in the center of it. And then this is what's called a jelly bag. You see the 4 grommets. And this is what I'm going to pour this cooked grape stuff in. So here we have the setup. We've got a bowl, got the jelly bag, and the holder. I'm sure you can probably find these pretty much anywhere. People don't make jelly anymore. They make jam because it's easier and quicker. But I like grape jelly rather than jam because these skins are really not what you want to be putting on your English muffin. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Here's what it looks like. It's boiled down quite a bit, which is a good thing. It's got that beautiful color out of the grapes. And the color comes from the skin, by the way, because even dark colored grapes are green on the inside. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, I'll put this pot back. All right. So the standard process now is to lift this bag while pressing to extract as much as you can from the grapes. I'm going to use a measuring cup and just kind of start juking it around. And then I'm going to lift this into another bowl. Okay, so that looks like about 2 cups so far. It's got a little sheen on it from the butter. Thank you, butter. And I put this on a plastic Cambro container so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So now I am just pressing this up against the side all around. Can't really squeeze it with my hands because it's too hot, but I'm going to let it cool off and I will squeeze it probably in an hour or so just to make sure, because the flavor and the color are in those skins. So I've got, let's see, don't know, maybe another cup down there. So we're doing good. So I'm going to work on this, and then I will show you when I'm all done. And later on, we're going to make the jelly. Okay, I'm going to be really brave, and I took the bag off the frame. And we're just going to twist this. Hey, before we get started, I just wanted to show you everything that I have ready to go. I've got the jars with the lids and the rings right here, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to put in the pot. Got the sugar, the grape juice, the Cerdo, and a little bit of butter. And over here I've got my jelly bag, which we will use later on. If you've never canned before, it's not that scary. You just need to make sure that you follow instructions. So the first thing that we want to do is get these jars in the hot water. And I'm using some big ones too because I love grape jelly. So why not, right? And then we put the lids and the rings into hot water, which is in this pot back here. We're just going to drop them in. Okay. After I loaded the jars in there, I wanted you to see how much water is in here. When you use the larger jars, it needs to cover them. So I've got about 7 inches of water in here, and this is a big pot. So you want to get this going first thing when you're getting ready to do your jelly. While we're waiting for that water to come up, I'm going to go ahead and put our ingredients in the pan. We're going to add the 4 cups of grape juice. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, it tastes so amazing. And we have 7 cups of sugar. Woohoo! Check that out. And this little bit of butter. We're going to stir that, which should be interesting to stir that much sugar into this much liquid. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Grape jelly! Okay, there we go. That's looking good. Okay, we have a couple of things going here. The water came up to a boil, so we're all good that those are all sterilized. And now we brought this up to a boil, and we're stirring it down. You want it on high heat, stirring it constantly for about a minute. Okay, I think it's ready for the pectin. Okay, we're adding the pectin. And you want to make sure you get it all because this has an important function in solidifying the jelly. And we're going to stir that in. And we need to bring it back up to a full rolling boil. That might take a second. Okay, that looks pretty good, like a boil that you can't stir down. So I'm gonna go and get the pan ready. We're gonna take the jars out and empty them. They're nice and hot and sterile. Be careful if you're using tongs, because what happens is the hot water runs down the back side of the tongs. Okay, we have our jars, and I just wanted to mention that I did put the funnel in the boiling water too, because that's important as well. And we are now going to put the jelly in the jars. I'm going to bring the bowl of jelly over, so I'm just making a little room so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, look at that. First jar up. Looks good. I didn't realize you couldn't see. There we go. And remember, anything that you're canning, you never want it to go all the way to the top. Just about where the first set of rings are is probably adequate. Just like that. I don't know if you can see where that's at, but I'm gonna pull this guy out. And as you always hear on instructions for canning, you want to wipe the rim right here. And then we are going to grab there's the ring. And we're going to grab a lid. And you want to line that lid up. Put the ring on. And we've got grape jelly. Put that back there. We're going to move this guy up next, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, this guy is filled up, and I'm going to get a lid. Take this off and put it on that one. We're going to wipe the edge. Put the lid on. And we're going to get a ring. Put that on. I'll tighten those before we go into the water bath. Need to turn on. All right, let's do the next one. I've got 4 of these little ones, and then we will be ready to start canning. Okay, the water is almost ready, so we're going to start putting the jars in, and it's a little bit tricky, so use a jar lifter, or this is the rubber bands on the tongs that I mentioned in the book. And we're going to put the lid back on, and when it comes back up to a boil, which it's almost there, we're going to let it boil for 5 minutes. And this is how much was left over. You should always kind of plan for a little bit left over. And this is going to last me for a while, but this will go right in my refrigerator. Okay, I want you to see what a rolling boil looks like in here. It's necessary for it to boil for 5 minutes in order for it to be safe and shelf stable. Okay, it is time to reveal our grape jelly. I'm so excited. Again, be very careful lifting these. You could tilt them a little bit to get that water off, but then get them over here real quick. Oh, that is heavy, man. There we go. Get a better grip on that. And there it is. There's our grape jelly. Now what you want to be careful of, did you hear that? You want to be careful of, you probably can't see that, but this one's already clicked. There it goes. That's what you want to listen for. Oh, another one. That means they're completely sealed. We're going to let them sit for 24 hours and then they can be put away. I see this one's kind of poofed up. Haven't heard from him yet. And of course, this is the one going in the fridge. So that one won't be popping. And there you have it. Yay! Love grape jelly.